I'm going to get started on these little ornaments, and I don't mind these little green trays. And normally what I do, and I hope that there's not too much shine on here for you, we'll see how that goes, but what I usually do with these smaller projects is I just, start at the beginning and use one color at a time. Larger projects, you're going to want to separate them all out and put them in little containers. But for these little tiny ones, that's just, I don't think, necessary. More work than I want to do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with A, which is the white. And I'm just going to dump some into the little tray. And then get started. So I think that what I'm going to do is start with some of these that don't have as much white on them. So I'm going to separate those out and see what's left. That way, if for some reason I run out of white, I'm going to run out on the bigger project and I've got more done, I guess is what I want to say, than if I would have started on a project that had more white in it. And if I would have started like on this snowman and then not, or this snowman, and then not had enough to, finish the rest of them, but I had two snowmen. And so in this way, what I do is I start from the least amount first. That way I've at least got, let's say, 6 or 7 ornaments with the white that's provided versus 2. So that's my strategy and my logic when I am doing these kinds of diamond paintings. And the other thing is that that one side of this plastic that is covering it, the plastic film, oh my goodness, if I can get it to start here. There we go. Is easier to put on than if you stick it with the other side, so one side has to go down. What I often do while I'm working on another one is I just kind of take this and put it back over the top, but I want to make sure that I try to lay that down on the side that is supposed to go down. And then I know that A is white, and there is so much shine here. And I am not particularly fast at this. So these are not sticking particularly well. Onto my pen. See, they just aren't sticking very well. So I may have to, see, that's what I do all the time. So I may have to load this cheap pen and no longer maybe then I'm working on them. So I'm going to jab this several times into the wax. I peeled it back. Then I'm going to cover it back up to keep it moister or so hair don't get on it. So let's try this. No, see, they're just not sticking. I thought maybe it was the pen, but it's not. I think it's this wax. So I'm going to try some of my better wax that came not in a kit and see if maybe this will stick better. I think I've got that loaded. Oops. Yeah, it's the wax. So normally I don't have as much trouble with the wax from these kits, but for whatever reason, maybe this one's just dry. I don't know, but it's not working. So I'm not going to use it because I don't want to spend all day trying to pick them up. And so now I have all of the white done on this reindeer. So, and now I got it all mixed up. So that still comes off. You can always test like a little corner of it. And if it comes off easily, you know you've got the right side down. So I'm just going to cover it up a little bit. I'm not worried too much about it because I'll probably finish him today if I can get him picked up. And already my hands are starting to go numb. So I may have to stop and shake my hands here periodically. And here I pulled that off and I don't even see any A's. Oh, I'm going to go with the lantern. I can definitely see there are some A's on the lantern. And if I spill them a little bit, you know, unless it's like the whole tray, which I have done, believe me, I just pick them up off of the table wherever they've fallen. I just don't worry too much about them. Save me a little bit of stress trying to pick them up. And if you've never diamond painted, these are, I would say, these small projects like these are the perfect way to get started on diamond painting. That way you've not spent a lot of money on a huge diamond painting. You don't know if you're going to like it. And I don't think this one has any A's on it that I can see. So that was another one with no A's. This has just a few. Some of the problem might be these little round diamonds too. They, I don't know, might have a coating on there of some kind that doesn't allow the wax to stick as easy, because I'm still having trouble with that. But I'm kind of pushing pretty hard on them, and they sure don't want to pick up. I'm going to keep kind of plugging along. But yeah, see, they just, whoop. I'm going to try putting a little bit more wax on and see. Well, maybe it just didn't have the chamber filled. I don't know. Now they're picking up again pretty good. I got a song stuck in my head. And it was a song that I remember years ago that was fairly popular on the country charts at the time. But it kind of been getting stuck on those, oh, what do they call them? Those reaction videos for songs. And it's very interesting, I think, to watch some of these young people listening to the songs of when I was young, or when I was young and my sisters listened to. So I really like oldies because it reminds me of my sisters, because they used to play them all the time, and I don't have very many fond memories of my childhood, at least, you know, ones that I can remember. And so oldies are just a genre that I have always connected to. So anyway, but of course, the 70s, especially for me, was around most of the time, was around the time where, you know, my kind of music that I listened to when I was a teenager. I think it's interesting watching these young people listen to those old classics, and they really like them. I mean, it was good music. I mean, really good music back then, for sure. And I don't see any more A's on that one either. I had some trouble with my neighbors, kind of sliding around there quite a bit. They just are big pot smokers. I mean, really big pot smokers. And I don't know whether they were on vacation or in between jobs or what the deal was. I don't know, but all day long, they'd start at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning and smoke pot all day long. And it just was so bad. It stunk so bad, and the smoke was horrific. I pretty much was sequestered to my home. I couldn't go out in my backyard. I just it made me sick to smell it. And then the smoke, it just gave me such a headache. And so my granddaughter, I didn't feel like I could let her play outside in the backyard either, and without being bombarded by pot smoke. And, so I don't know, I probably was a little vocal about it. But I kind of boiled up, I think. One day I just had reached my point, and my granddaughter was wanting to play outside, and I kind of just said, can you guys at least close your curtains on your, I don't know what it's called, a pergola kind of thing that they have out there, while you're smoking that, so that it's, at least when my granddaughter's in the backyard. And then they got really nasty. Telling me that it was legal, and essentially they could do it because it was legal. And I kind of told them, well, just because it's legal, it doesn't make it not rude. I mean, it's rude to bombard somebody else with that smoke who doesn't have, doesn't want to smell it all day long. Well, I don't know. They got a little nasty after that. And so every time I was out trying to water my roses or whatever, they would just kind of laugh and, blow smoke purposely across the fence. And anyway, it was not a pleasant time. And then kind of when they would go outside after that, now they have closed that one side curtain on their pergola. And I understand that they're smoking outside. I mean, they don't want their kids, well, I guess they're one kid probably having to be around their smoke, but that isn't, it would seem to me that it would be logical or common sense that if you don't want your kid around smoke, why would you subject other people's children to that or grandkids to it? It just made no sense to me. But anyway, so now they've been kind of closing the one side of their curtains. So it doesn't get rid of it completely, but it kind of redirects the smoke a little bit so that it is not bombarding me quite so bad if I want to sit in my backyard for a little bit. But at the same time, I've been avoiding them too. So really early morning, I go out, or, really late in the evening when either they're still asleep or going to bed, or maybe they're, I don't know. I complained about it on Facebook to friends, and of course, everybody said that they would have been handling that much worse than I handled it. And I thought I didn't handle it very good as it was by just complaining about it. I don't know. I'm kind of the neighbor that you want if there's a problem. I tried to respect people, and I tried to, make sure that I don't do anything that could cause them discomfort. And so I just always expect the same back. And, I guess society just doesn't really work that way. It just doesn't. And that's hard for me to take sometimes. I don't really know how to handle that, to be honest. I just think that's the way people should be, is to treat people decently. And they just don't. I'm still having trouble picking these up. I think I'm going to end up using an awful lot of wax on these diamonds. I finished the white, and this is what I have left over. So there was definitely enough white. And so I'm going to just trust that the rest will be okay. My next one that I'm doing is B, which are these bright, shiny reds. And I had already done those on this little snow guy because he didn't have much. And the candy cane and the little candle. But I wanted you to see that how much of this I had used from the white. I picked it up again, of course, when I started this red, but I've only dipped into this once, at the beginning of these red ones. So there was something just off with these white, and it could be because they were just really dull. Didn't attach to the wax very well. So I'm going to continue for a little bit here. And like I said, these are going much easier. I know I get off track sometimes, but I was going to tell you that the song that was stuck in my head that I had watched from one of those reaction videos was Baby's Got Her Blue Jeans On. And I'll have to look and see and edit what year that came out, but a long flippin' time ago. And what was so bad is I probably hadn't heard that song in 40 years, and I heard it when they played it, and see how well these are going on, sticking to that wax. That's the way they should be doing. Because I thought if I had to do that with that wax on all of this, I don't know if I'd have finished them. I'd have got too frustrated. Anyway, I knew all the words to the song. Now there's another song by Bread that they did not too long before that, and Bread just had really great songs. And that light's shining on there. Got to find the bees. And the song was Everything I Own. If you get a chance and you like that 70s music, Everything I Own is just such a great song. And definitely I'm going to want to put some sealer of some kind. And for these I may just use some Mod Podge or something. Something that isn't too costly and easy to put on. And since they're just ornaments, not too worried about major quality. Well, for heaven's sakes. Yeah, see? I'm leaving that in there too, because this is how it goes for me every time. So I think that you're kind of getting obviously what I'm doing, and I think that what's probably going to happen now, I'm just going to finish these up and show you what they look like when I get them all done. So I finished the ornaments, and I would say they turned out pretty cute. This is how much is left of all of the gems, so definitely had enough gems. These are the little keychain, I don't know what you call them, latches. So they go through the little hole here, and then with the little bead hook, which you know you've seen before, just goes through here. But I'm not going to, I'll just hook one of them, but I'm not going to do them because because I need to seal these first before I would put that on. But that's what they look like. Very cute, very sparkly. And I know you probably can't see the sparkle on them very well, but they are very shiny, except for this dull white. And this dull white was the one that I had so much trouble with, but the rest went on very easily, very quickly. And so that's it. Thanks for watching.